Mexico's heading north.
A very demanding rain condition. I believe week 8 here on ABC could be the most interesting so far this year in 97. An unknown somewhat, Darin Hays, the local favorite, going against a new champion who won a couple weeks ago, Tim Criss.
30-year-old right-hander is going to shoot first on the left lane. Pretty strike on tough conditions, right, Nelson?
Well, Chris, overall, there was 2,711 games bowled in the PBA tournament, and the total field only averaged 196. You better bring all your bowling skills with you today.
Now from the left side, Darin Hays from nearby Tampa. All even after one frame in our opening match.
Darin Hays, left-hander, 5-step delivery, pretty solid arm swing. Watch, it's right in line with his target. He's playing just outside the first arrow, in good position, a good solid follow-through, and gets a perfect result on his first shot, national television.
So a 7-pin on the left lane. We can watch Darin shoot the spares.
A little wide, left-hand lane hanging a little bit for the left-hander. Makes a good shot. This is not the type of environment you just want to try to attack the pocket. So keep it in play, make your spares. He's quickly up with another bowling ball to cut down his hook, hopefully convert to 7.
So it's an open frame following a strike for Darin Hays, who today will make his first Professional Bowlers Association money, because if you even lose the first match, you get $4,000. If you win, of course, you move ahead. The next opponent will be Bob Belmont. Tim Criss with a double.
On the championship pair, Chris, the right-handed players averaged 222. It's a pretty solid pair. It's in the middle of the house, 32-lane bowling center. The lefties only averaged 213, so slight advantage to the right-handers, 9-pin edge. We have 3 righties today. You can see Tim Criss's grip. You saw the 6 rounds he bowled, 42 games. Leads in this match by 22.
So it is 3 in a row for Tim, who had a 15-9 match play record. Had to average 202 to get into match play.
3rd pin on the left-hand part of your screen. Watch it do the damage. 2 pin to the sideboard, trips out to 4 and 7 pins. Hays, let's see how he can cover from that errant 2nd frame.
And another 7, but on the right lane.
And once again, changing balls. In the championship round play, if a player misses a spare, he normally loses the game 65% of the time. Now, his technique is to start over in this area, and he wants to get that ball right down the 3rd arrow pretty straight. He was a little wide the last frame and slid off into the channel.
Okay. No sense of humor by the young man from Tampa, Florida, Darin Hays. We're in Sebring, Florida. Highlands County, an area that has 78 God-made lakes. Three 7s.
Keeping the ball in play. And there's one little flaw I've seen in Darin's game. He kind of pulls up at the foul line. He's stiff-legged at the line, and that has him throw the ball down into the lane. It bounces slightly, and that caused it just not to finish enough to kick out that 7. He would have loved to have had 4 strikes to start this game. However, he's got a strike, a miss, another spare, and once again, the 7-pin, 4th frame.
Okay, well done. Yes, we're in Central Florida, where agriculture is important to the economy, and one of the chief products, what else? Oranges.
Want some waffles?
Waffles? Are you crazy? I don't have time for waffles.
You do if they're Eggo Cinnamon Toast Waffles.
Trying.
Where's the butter and syrup?
Are you crazy? You don't have time for butter and syrup.
They're the first waffles with a baked-in sweet cinnamon taste. So they're great, even without butter and syrup.
What's eating, Dad? Waffles.
Are you crazy? You don't have time for waffles.
Eggo Cinnamon Toast Waffles. Hey, you've got time for waffles.
There are many types of athlete's foot that eat your feet alive. Don't just cure some, kill them all. Lotrimin AF. Full prescription strength medicine. The brand doctors recommend most. Lotrimin AF. The killer cure.
Hate the taste of Arm & Hammer toothpaste? Then try new Smooth Spearmint. Now the baking soda toothpaste that dentists recommend most has a refreshing spearmint ribbon of flavor. New Smooth Spearmint from Arm & Hammer.
Here in Sebring, Florida, Tim Criss has a 33-pin lead with 3 strikes in a row, shooting in the 4th of our very first match.
Chris off to a good start as his experience is showing. He got a good break. He tripped the 4-pin, but all the shots have been in the pocket.
4 in a row for Tim. First full year on the tour was 1993. And, of course, he won the flagship Open this year in Erie, Pennsylvania. The arena setting. Rose to the occasion.
His wife, Sherry, entertained everybody with her karaoke talents last night. Proud of her husband's 4 strikes in a row and 43-pin lead. Opening match.
Oh, a lovely little tap down on the... Just kiss that 10-pin, though.
Well, right, Chris, the 6-pin, just the head of the 6-pin tapped out the 10. The late Billy Whaley used to call it the love tap. Can't beat it when you get a great break like that. He's showing his experience. It's up to Darin Hays to try to attack, but it's very difficult. Keep the ball in play. Usually somebody will make a mistake in the match.
All right. The spare up.
Darin, after leaving 3 7-pins, tries to put a little extra on the ball. He pulls up at the line, cuts right through the heart to 2, 4, and 7. He feels his best asset in the sport of bowling is his concentration. He says if that leaves him, anything can go wrong.
Nicely done. Coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, it's the tour of Olympic gymnastics champions, featuring Shannon Miller, Dominique Dawes, and host Robin Roberts reports from Churchill Downs in the Kentucky Derby preview presented by Visa. Plus, world short track speed skating from Japan. Nice going, Darin. And that's all coming up next, Wide World, right here, ABC Sports. Lots of variety, good action.
Darin Hays, head pin to the sideboard, slams across the lane, rips the rack, nothing but pin shrapnel left down there on that shot. That was his best shot of the game. However, Tim Criss has a commanding 56-pin lead, 5 strikes in a row.
Halfway there.
$10,000 if he can throw another 6 in a row, and if anybody does in the championship game today, $100,000.
There were no 300s bowled this week during the tournament.
But a lot of clutch strikes thrown. Most of the games come down to the 10th frame.
All right, that's 7. There have been 55 300 games rolled in 14 tournaments.
Darin, who works as an accountant for his father-in-law, a job very similar to my oldest daughter, Katrina.
Hey.
Bowls part-time.
Nice job. Good double, and brings it back a little. Trailing by 66, but look at all the strikes. 7 in a row.
Well, in this environment, 7 in a row is not a guaranteed lock. If Darin Hays takes it off the sheet, 234, in almost every game, somebody makes a huge mistake and turns the match around. I'm not trying to jinx Tim Criss, but that's what we've seen so far this week.
Darin, the University of North Carolina, Charlotte graduate. That's the 4th, 7.
Has bowled an excellent game, has not had good luck with the left-hand corner of the 7-pin. That's his 4th 7-pin in 8 frames, and that will be his undoing as his lead of Tim Criss becomes insurmountable right now. After this shot, Darin Hays will become a spectator.
That is only his 2nd PBA tournament, first ever on television. He will leave with $4,000. To go, and Sherry's loving it.
Sherry stood by last night in the 42nd game when Don Best Jr., who was in 5th place, finished with 4 strikes in a row. Tim Criss threw strikes 3 times in the 10th frame to qualify by 1 single pin after 42 games. He's now maximizing his opportunity.
End. About as a Mark Roth abrupt ending.
Well, he got the ball a little inside target, a little too much spin, and it doesn't quite flip around. And we've seen the 7-10 made before, but we won't see it this time.
Kegel Bowling Center in Sebring, Florida. You know, Florida Highlands Hammock State Park offers a refuge for wildlife and a serene environment for members of the community.
Cozy, huh? What? Whoa. Bedroom? No way. Security? How's the transportation? Classic fixtures. Ooh, what do we have here? Bud Light. Go ahead. It's got your name on it. I'll get my own. Nice. Ah,
I'll take it. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
That was close. I was down to my last one. America, birthplace of freedom, land of opportunity, where people have rights. The right to assemble peaceably, the right to cereal any way you want it. We salute those who look to Kellogg's cornflakes and see a land of milk and honey. Or milk and strawberries. Peaches, to you who taste a mountain of possibilities. In this humble flake we say, let freedom pour. Kellogg's cornflakes.
Looking for something special to watch tonight? At 8/7 Central, the final chapter for Lois and Clark.
I'm leaving you.
The Lex Files. Then, working for the coroner's office, you think you've seen it all. Until a dead magician rises to the occasion.
Check this out.
Talk about a bag of tricks. At all new Leaving L.A., ABC tonight.
Believe me, it's a standing room only crowd here at Kegel Bowling Center in Sebring, Florida. This is Darin Hays, who is down too many pins to mention it because his opponent 8 in a row before he opened. But for his first television appearance,
quite well, Chris, as he's kept the ball in play as a potential 202. Actually, he bowled an extra day. He was one of our rabbits, the Pro Tour qualifiers that bowled on Monday. We had 56 rabbits shooting for 38 spots. Darin qualified 7th, averaging 204, and that will get you a lot of money in a John Davis bowling center.
Squaring the ninth frame for Darin Hays. He has 6 regional titles. He's in the southern region, of course. He won the, as we look at Tim Criss, Darin won the Daytona Beach doubles with Kirk Von Kruger, our current national tournament director. That was in '92. Kurt now runs the show, and extremely well. All right. Okay. Tonight on ABC, the X-Files trilogy continues on an all-new Lois and Clark, followed by a brand-new episode of Leaving L.A. Then, an all-new ABC music special starring, get this, U2, A Year in Pop, featuring concert footage from last night's tour performance in Las Vegas. That's all tonight on ABC. Don't miss it.
Potential 202 for Darin Hays. He averaged 214 on this pair during the week.
An encouraging finish for the 34-year-old. Walter Ray Williams, Jr., staying loose off to our right. Some practice lanes. Looking very good.
In the next match, Tim Criss will meet Bob Belmont. You talk about an exciting player, another port-sider, southpaw, but he can really scatter the pins.
So it's a 201 and $4,000 for Darin Hays. Well, this ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after these messages and a word from our ABC station as Criss meets Belmont next.
This is Miracle Grow Lawn Food, the easy way to a beautiful lawn. It took years to develop these patented granules, but you'll start seeing results in just days. Miracle Grow promotes vigorous root growth, helps fill in thin spots, to give you a thick carpet of beautiful green. If you like what Miracle Grow does for your garden, you will love what Miracle Grow Lawn Food does for your lawn. And now, get rid of dandelions and other weeds with Miracle Grow Lawn Food plus weed control.
When I was 16, I got my first job at one of my McDonald's. My boss was cool. Glenn was so successful, he ended up buying a McDonald's, one of mine. It was a big deal for him. Now here's a big deal at my McDonald's. Big Mac, my size meal. Buy any drink, any size, and any size fries, and get a delicious Big Mac for just 55 cents. 55 salutes the year it all began. So get a my size meal. Brother, oh, that's about it. No, you forever in my debt. There you go.
This may be the only sport where women are on an equal footing with men. It's the women versus the men of the Hershey's Kisses Figure Skating Challenge, Sunday on ABC.
Our greatest fears are waiting to be unleashed.
Come down, take your medicine!
From the master himself comes a completely new version of a classic. Stephen King's The Shining, ABC Sunday. Parental discretion advised.
It's time to stop and smell the roses next Saturday.
ABC Bowling Lanes, the area leader in recreation for nearly 40 years, now has an offer you can't pass up. When you join a summer league, you can open bowl all summer long for just $1 a game. Whether you're a new, intermediate, or advanced bowler, ABC Lanes offers a league for the entire family. For more information, stop by or call any of our 3 ABC locations. $1 a game for open bowling. That's a deal you can't refuse.
Well, it's the start of the Great American Ford Sales Event, and we're very... Oh, here, ma'am, have a balloon.
Don't people usually blow up the balloon before they hand them out?
Well, gee, you know, with so many deals to talk about, I was just trying to save my breath.
It's back, the Great American Ford Sales Event. Save now on every Ford car and truck in stock with up to $2,000 cash back or financing as low as 1.9%. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
Oh, here, sir, have a balloon. Don't people usually blow up?
Well, yeah, but they last so much longer this way, really.
The Weather Center's Rod Dixon. Weekends at 6 and 11.
The Professional Bowlers Tour on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Kellogg's. With good taste, nutrition, and value, the best you each morning from Kellogg's. The owners, managers, and crew who proudly call the McDonald's in your neighborhood my McDonald's. And Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Lake-surrounded Sebring, Florida. And our first match is over with Tim Criss. 11 strikes, 266 to Darin Hays, 201. So the condition for Tim Criss, though, were okay.
Well, Chris got zeroed on the TV pair, and really it's been interesting. The story all week's been kind of the oil pattern. Let's take a look at the oil pattern that was put down by the PBA this week. Basically, it's 38 feet, and they used a different oil this week. It was a little different than some of the players had trouble with on Wednesday. I had the chance to bowl here Sunday for 2 hours, Monday for 3 hours, Tuesday for 3 hours, and basically some of the strike-hungry young players were caught off guard and shot some bad scores, but one lesson to be taken from here: if you bowl in a John Davis environment, John Davis Bowling Center, bring all your bowling skills, and so they'll need them here today.
Okay, here comes the handshake between Tim Criss and Bob Belmont, originally a native of White Plains, New York, now bowling out of Dunedin, Florida. Here he is, 215 pounds, southpaw. Well, very nonchalantly walks away from that power strike.
Well, let's see if Tim Criss can get it going. Once again, I said slide edge for the right-handers. They out-averaged the lefties on the championship pair by 9 pins, and we basically picked the championship pair or TV pair at random just for audience and camera availability, so no favoritism showing.
So, off to an even match after a frame. 12 hours of Sebring. The great tests of the great cars. All the great names have won it here, too. Fungio, Gurney, Voigt, Andretti, Shelby, Phil Hill.
Come on, get up.
Leaving a 10 pin. He has a wireless mic. Sometimes they'll make comments, and sometimes they won't. Now it's to the right of center for the 10. Okay. Notice how carefully he places himself on the right lane, hoping to double. 3, 7, 9.
Belmont starting down the left side. A good solid arm swing, but as I sit here talking to Darin Hays here in a second, he said the right-hand lane is a little bit tighter. You see Belmont going through, pulls up on the shot a little bit, leaves the 3, 7, 9. A difficult split at best.
Just an open. We've not seen that split, believe me. Okay, Bo?
Thank you, Chris. Darin, pretty solid performance. You hit the pocket a lot of times, and all week long, normally that would be a winning game.
Yeah, I thought the 201 game that I bowled would have had a legitimate shot at winning because the scores have really been low this week, and if I'd have said, give me 201 to start with, I may have taken it.
Well, it might win a lot of the other games, but you had a great performance, and good luck in your future tournaments. Back to you, Chris.
All right. Nice comeback by Bob Belmont. He's on the left lane that time. He's bowling Tim Criss, who won the first game over Darin Hays, 266 to 201. Winner of this game will meet Walter Ray Williams, Jr. So now it's a 2 and sleeper 8.
Do something to the ball.
Okay, we heard him whispering himself, do something to the ball. That means he just kind of babied it, and once again, you don't get the proper performance, and it doesn't behave well going down that 60 feet, and it doesn't finish. As you look at his grip, he leaves the 2-8 spare, by no means a gimme.
Okay, a spare in the third for Tim Criss.
As we look at Tim Criss, I had 3 years where I basically went off pro bowling and bowled a couple of weeks, Chris, and I put him in a category with our tournament leader, Steve Jaros, and Tommy DeLutz as the most improved over the last 3 years. These players came from average pros to bona fide stars. Jaros has been in the winner's circle, Chris, and DeLutz will be there shortly.
Crossover, but leaving
good
the 10th.
adjustment.
Okay, inside your target line, accuracy is the primary thing, and doesn't pay the maximum penalty, but once again, doesn't have a chance for a strike.
Well, as we go to break, let's take a look at this week's historical flashback. First, we travel back to January of 1989 when power problems struck in the middle of our third match. We were all reminded of that age-old parental decree, lights out. In March of 1991, Del Ballard Jr. needed only 7 pins to win the Fairlanes Open. Through this gutter ball to learn firsthand the meaning of the term, the agony of defeat. And finally, there was Pete Weber at the 1991 Open, who had no problems receiving the check, but the trophy, well, that's a different story.
My job is to compare products. And it's not often that I'm surprised. So when Head & Shoulders went up against the leading prescription brand, I expected the prescription to be better, but it isn't. A study proves Head & Shoulders is effective against dandruff. I found out there's a microscopic fungus associated with dandruff, and Head & Shoulders helps kill it. Helps stop flakes before they even start. Not even the expensive prescription works better. You may never see flakes again. I don't.
Did you know there's only one? And it's mine.
Aren't you the lucky one?
Yes, there's only one.
Ooh, and it's all yours.
There's only one Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treat Square. Get lots.
It's a full hour of all-new videos with the wildest slips and falls of the season. Ouch! And the funniest animals ever. Now that's a dumb pet trick. It's all-new videos, ABC Sunday.
Hey, check this out. The 12 Olympic gymnastic champions. This is the real hip-hop. It's Wide World of Sports, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat.
Our roving ABC camera gives you the view that Bo and I see from our broadcast location. And we look down, and it's Bob Belmont, ready to bowl in the right lane. He's trailing by 9. He can take a 1-pin lead with a strike. A 2.
Belmont a little bit high on the right-hand lane. He sends it wide and hooks high. Gets a great break. Could have had the 2-7 baby split. A simple spare by Belmont, and he will trail in the match by 10.
All right. Back to Bo.
Thank you, Chris. With me, the #1 player in the world, Walter Ray Williams Jr., but you haven't been up to that moniker the last couple of weeks. What's been the problem? Then you turned it around really here, though.
I'm not really sure, but I got a horseshoe tournament I was supposed to go to tomorrow in St. Louis with some good players, and so I practiced a little bit this week, and I guess I got my bowling in shape.
So the arm swing's similar, huh?
Very similar. I need to be accurate this week, and normally I got to be accurate in horseshoes.
Well, it's not the first time it's happened to you. Let's see if you can come away with a win today. Back to you, Chris.
6-time world champion. getting any breaks, Bob Belmont, who bowls usually extremely well on tough conditions. But he has a 7-pin on the left lane. Was 18-6 in match play. He's ranked 72nd by the PBA, while his opponent is ranked 8th. Well, it's a close match in our second. The first was not, as Tim Criss bowled a 266, 11 strikes, to Darin Hays, 201. Here's Criss.
See, that's what I liked about this lane condition. He knew he threw the ball well, and that's all he worked on, and let the pin results be natural. He got it rewarded with an unassisted strike, all 10 pins in the pit. Leads by 10 pins, 6 frame, can make it 20.
Beautifully done. Tim Criss, who won an Erie from the top seed. Started today from 5th.
Belmont used to be a power player, but he had 3 wrist operations over the past 10 years. He's cut his hook down, and now he keeps the ball much more in play and is much better, actually. He's more versatile.
All right. Kegel Bowling Center, Sebring, Florida. And there you see 20 pins separating these two professionals.
Belmont, very interesting. He uses a fingertip grip, the full grip for his strike ball, and he used to use a conventional grip where he put his fingers in down to the second knuckle to kill the shot for his spare ball. Now, he doesn't do it as much anymore. As you see him going with the full fingertip grip, just the tips of the fingers put in the ball. That maximizes his power, and he changes the grip for his spares.
All right. Powerful double. Cuts the lead. Lake Placid, Florida, a sister city of Sebring, has been acclaimed for the artistic presentation simply known as the murals of Lake Placid.
Broken hearts, cold wind blowing, clear.
I've known Sam since we both had hair. Some days his hands hurt to where he can barely tie his shoes. Oh, he'd take 2 Tylenol, but hours later he'd be hurting again. He'd have to take more. He got fed up, so his doctor said try a leave.
I can take just 2 Aleve all day. Tylenol was taking up to 8.
So he tried a leave. Keeps his pain away up to 12 hours.
What more could you ask for?
A little more hair?
Aleve. All day strong, all day long.
I like being in control. With this new Dinerex, I control the cause of my dandruff every day.
New Dinerex Advanced Formula. Its medicine doesn't just treat the symptoms. It controls the leading cause of dandruff called Peel Valley.
Now that's serious control.
New Dinerex Advanced Formula.
Work boots. Tough on the outside, tough on your feet inside. Not enough cushioning. Dr. Scholl's Maximum Comfort work insoles give you 100% more cushioning. They make work easier on your feet.
Close match. Tim Criss won the first 266 to 201 as we returned to Sebring, Florida, where we had a real downpour earlier. Here's a double up, shooting in the 7th frame.
First solid tap he's had today. Pretty good shot, sends it just a pinch wide, ringing 10, but has to be satisfied with that. Keep the ball in play, win the matches. Convincingly toppled. Convincing first game. Here's
Mr. Criss with 11 strikes, 266. Ray continues to stay loose off to the right. Eighth frame. Now Bob Belmont. Double up. Eighth frame. Can take the lead.
Fundamental flaw in his delivery there. He got his body turned sideways, facing basically towards the lower end of the house, pulled it across his body. There is no reward for bad shots in this bowling center. We've seen John Mazza make the 710. However, Bob Belmont will not make it today. He now drops in arrears through 8 frames by 23 pins. Hang in there. Set up a strike in the 9th frame. Most of these matches are lost, not really won, in a tough match game environment like this.
A 6.
Now you can see Belmont, he's squared up to the line. What I mean, his shoulders are facing down the line. Pretty good shot, a little stiff leg. It gets a 6 pin. That's not too bad. The previous frame, he had turned sideways and pulled the ball high.
Quickly off his chair and looking for his spot, setting himself. Tim Criss. Strikeout, 9th frame.
Needs 2 marks to lock up the match. There's no way to play safe. Go to the hole.
You know, next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on ABC's Wide World of Sports, you'll see the first jewel in the Visa Triple Crown Challenge. 123rd running of the Kentucky Derby live from Churchill Downs.
Chris, I'm going to give you some bets. I'm going to give you the trifecta now. You take Crypto Star with Pat Day, who's won more Triple Crown events than anybody. Put him with Captain Bodgett. I'll tell you the one that's going to make you the money is Free House. Bet those 3, you'll be in good business, good shape.
Okay, next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Then, if you just want to bet a single horse, go for my friend George Steinbrenner's Concerto.
If you want to bet on this bowling match, put all your money on Tim Criss. He just locked up the match with that strike, has a potential 236. It's going to be Criss against the #1 player in the world in match 3, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Sherry, Criss.
225 with a conversion, off to a terrific start. Pulled 266 in his first game. He is zeroed on this championship pair. He's going to be tough to beat.
225 for Tim Criss to go along with his 266 in his first victory.
Well, the first 2 matches have gone pro forma. The left-handers over the period of the week struggled on the championship pair. The right-handers have had a slight edge. Tim Criss takes out both southpaws.
First telecast this year for Bob Belmont, and only his 5th in his career. Did own a pro shop and decided to give it up so he could spend a little more time getting the boards out here, Bo.
Well, he bowls part-time, Chris, and he's a sharp player, and his championship round record now goes to 0-5, and I'm sure he'll improve on that sooner or later.
192. This week, Bo Burton shares an adjustment that can definitely improve your spare-making technique. Watch and listen.
The main difference between the average bowler and the really good player isn't just strikes. It's converting spares. The key spares are the right-hand corner spares, such as the 6 and 10 pins. And even a lot of good players have trouble adapting to the proper technique of breaking your wrist back and throwing it hard and straight across the lane. They seem to want to revert back to their old hook ball, and this is marginal at best. Today I'll show you a practice vehicle that I find is very good improving your right-hand corner spare techniques. Number one, pick a spot on the right-hand part of the lane outside the first arrow. Throw it down about the second board. This will help you overcome your fear of rolling the ball in the channel and teach you to kill the shot. I guarantee you, once you develop this technique from the right side in your practice and move back over to the left, shoot across lane, you'll improve your spare making potential.
AC Delco knows that as a car gets older, its engine runs rougher. So we developed a spark plug to help bring back new car feel, and things really gelled. Rapid Fire from AC Delco. It makes an engine idle up to 27% smoother and accelerate with up to 18% quicker throttle response. Rapid Fire. Its performance ought to have the competition shaking.
So, where do you want this?
Hey now, I ordered a new copier.
This is better than new, my friend. Allow me to demonstrate. Oh, what do we have here? Wow. Enlarges, too. Even Foley. I'll take it.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
That was close. I didn't think I could shove this baby through.
If your game is in the pits, your team feels like the pits, maybe, just maybe, it's the shirts.
1-800-PBA Tour.
Our shirts are the pits!
No problem. Shirts are on their way.
Now it's time to put some color on your team and more fun in your game. It's amazing what a bunch of strikes will do for you. So, now you too can look like a winner and bowl like a pro. Just call 1-800-PBA Tour.
Here in Sebring, Florida, Tim Criss, seeded fifth now, has won 2 big games. He's faced now with Walter Ray Williams, Jr.
Tough match coming up, Chris, and as we said, Tim Criss is one of the most improved players on the tour, and you'll see another one right there if Walter Ray will move away. That's Paige Pankin, Walter Ray's wife. Tommy DeLutz right there, one of the most improved players I've seen out on the tour. And there was this long, solid tournament here as we look 6 through 24. Some of the other cashers, former U.S. Open champion Robert Lawrence in the money this week. Johnny Petraglia, a 199 average. Check that. Got him $1,000. Ernie Schlegel made $1,150. And here's some of the other top players. Norm Duke. Del Ballard made a run at it. Tommy Baker, solid as usual. In the finals almost every week. The fireball, Phil Ringeter back in there. Randy Peterson said, I really improved my game this week. He felt the demanding lane conditions are going to improve him down the line. Sullen's having a good year. Eugene McCune never uses all of his talent, or he's never finished 19th. He should be 9th. Bob Benoit right up there, and The Rock brings down the field.
Okay, Bo, and we're going to have a week off, but in 2 weeks we'll be back in North Brunswick, New Jersey, Johnny Petraglia Open. Our normal starting time at 3 Eastern. Then 3 weeks from today, we'll be in the lovely city of Toronto for the IOF Foresters Open. Note the time difference. We begin at 1 o'clock Eastern. That's 1 o'clock Eastern, 3 weeks from today from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Now, match 3, Walter Ray Williams Jr. and Tim Criss.
You're going to have some contrasting styles here as you see Criss, who is hooking the lane, moderate hook ball. Walter Ray Williams Jr. struggled with his big hook earlier in the week, but has opted for the straight ball last night and made a huge charge into second place. 2 of the hot players on tour and best in the world in the semifinal here.
Thus far, he's had 17, now make it 18 strikes as he shot first here in his third game today. Tim Criss. Now Walter Ray Williams, Jr. Oh, yes. 6'2", 180 pounds, 37 years old.
I tell you, crossing lanes. Now remember, there's 32 lanes in this house. Walter Ray, I believe, came up with the best technique late last night. He averaged 260 at one run with a down and in with some powerful lift. Just because you throw it straight doesn't mean you fudge it or kill it. He's letting that wrist rotate straight through the ball. Good lesson.
Three-time Player of the Year has left the 2-pin on the left lane. Just a thin hit, leaving the 2. Okay. Strike and a spare for Walter Ray. Now Tim Criss. Strike up shooting in the second frame. This is a semifinal game. Winner will meet Steve Jaros, Bolingbrook, Illinois.
Get up.
Another 10-pin. This is the 5th TV appearance for Tim. He has been consistent.
Tim Criss on the left side of the lane just doesn't get a handful. Not quite enough lift. Leaves the soft 10. You see the 6 lie down in the channel.
He's won $50,000 this year. And here's Bob.
Thank you, Chris. Bob, you had to be pretty happy with the game you bowled. You know, all week long, that type of game would win a lot of matches.
That's correct. They were tough all week. You need a couple breaks here and there to bowl a decent game. Unfortunately, I threw one bad shot. I left the 3-7. The 7-10 I thought was a good shot, but obviously it wasn't. But those are the breaks. You had to get a couple breaks to bowl decent games this week, and if you didn't, anything could happen.
All right, good performance and good luck in the next tournament. Back to you, Chris.
Okay, now the corner pins, giving Tim Criss some problems here. Left a 10 and now a 7. 10 on the left lane. Just joined us. He won the first game, 266 to 201, Darin Hays. Then 225 to Bob Belmont's 192. And then blows the 7-pin.
Chris, there's some stats that go with that in match play competition. First place, a pro only misses a single pin once every 10 games, so this is a rare exception for Chris. And number 2, when you miss a spare in match making competition, you usually lose the game 2 out of 3 times.
Come on. All right, good shot. Come on, through it.
Walter just muscles the ball down there with a good solid lift, a ringing 10. Going a little more direct like he is, he may not carry as well as Chris, but he has a better chance of keeping the ball in play.
Shine Queen, Walter Ray Williams, Jr. 93rd television appearance, but the 65th in the 90s alone.
Paige Pennington, his wife.
Mm-hmm. We're in Central Florida, which is home of the 12 Hours of Sebring.
There are many types of athlete's foot that eat your feet alive. Don't just cure some, kill them all. Lotramin AF. Full prescription strength medicine. The brand doctors recommend most. Lotramin AF. The killer cure.
I helped my dad build this place. Well, help. I was so small I could barely swing the hammer. But he taught me a lot about tools. He used to say, you can buy cheap tools every couple of years. Or you can buy Stanley once.
Since 1843,
A company from New Britain, Connecticut has been helping people do things right. Stanley.
I even take my tape roll fishing. Well, that way I'll know how big a story to tell.
Here's the easy way to a beautiful lawn. Miracle Grow Lawn Food. It stimulates root growth, helps fill in thin spots to give you a thick, beautiful carpet of green. Miracle Grow Lawn Food does all the work. You get all the credit.
They risked it all for a moment on top of the world. Tragedy and triumph on Everest. Now, 1 year later, how it's changed their lives. Turning Point, ABC Sunday.
You've seen them make others talk, but how do they make a gangster rap?
Y'all cut your throat.
An all-new blue.
You're gonna wish you never were born.
ABC Tuesday.
Yes, Highlands County royalty. So refreshing, so young and pretty. Tim Criss, fourth frame, trails by 11. And again, the 7-pin. Sebring, Florida. 12 hours. Sebring. Racing on ABC tomorrow. Bosch Spark Plug Grand Prix. And May 25th, don't forget, 81st running of the Indy 500. May 25th. And don't forget the first Saturday in May. One of my favorites, Kentucky Derby. I think they're all my favorites. What am I saying? Having done them all, I've loved them.
Hold it.
Well, 3-6-10, Tim Criss.
The 3-6-10 Criss just gets inside his target. If you've been watching the telecast the last 45 minutes, he was going out to about the 5th board. He tugs it in the 7th board. He almost leaves the 3-6-7-10. And I'll tell you what, the 3-6-10 has been no gimme this week. It's kind of tough crossing the line.
So Walter Ray is up after Criss marched to that spare in the first. Walter Ray with a 14-pin lead, but has a strike up in the 4th.
That's not what I want to do. Come on. Come on. Can't do that. Come on.
He convinced me.
Walter Ray, with just too much speed, throws it through the break. He's only playing a minimum break of about 6 boards, but if he throws it too hard, he slides by. Once again, another tough spare. Not an easy spare, the 2-8.
That's it.
Okay. Bell?
Thank you, Chris. Steve Jaros, are you kind of surprised by the scoring of Tim Criss in the first 2 matches, or have things settled down out there?
Really, I'm not. You know, right now we don't have the problem of having to cross pairs across the house. So, you know, we've had a little bit of time to practice on them, and really all week it's played out that when you made really good shots, the scores were available. It's a tough condition, but it's definitely not unplayable.
Chris, he's our tournament leader as Walter Ray gets a break. Back to you.
Tipped everything but the 4-pin on the left point. Let's look at that again. Take a while to play it. All right, nice spare.
Come on.
Tomorrow night on ABC, a completely new hour of America's Funniest Home Videos, followed by a brand new special edition of Turning Point from ABC News. Then, it's finally here. The television event Entertainment Weekly calls the most frightening movie ever made for television, a brand new version of Stephen King's The Shining. The Shining, starring Rebecca De Mornay and Steve Weber. Don't miss it. That's tomorrow night on ABC.
As the championship pair starts toughening up a little bit with the oil carry down as the players push the oil towards the strike zone, Tim Criss has made a few adjustments, and Walter Ray could have put him away early. He's given Criss new life, and right now with the strike in the 7th, the difference would only be 3 pins.
Sherry Criss liking these moments here in Sebring. Ever hear the phrase, what you see is what you get? Well, look closer, and you might get this Florida surprise. Yikes.
It's 3rd and long. Clearly, they're thinking pass. I'm telling you, Troy Aikman's 3rd down completion percentage is out of sight. They line up in a passing formation, and Aikman is back to pass. He's looking. He's got a receiver wide open. He's still looking. What's going on? And, Aikman's down.
Oh, he had all the time in the world. You've got to ask yourself, what was this guy thinking?
Brute, it's all part of the game.
All right, guys. Same play.
You want a Lego my ego, or you want to talk it over?
Sure, let's chat.
My wife and I will come down.
Eggo waffles, too good to let go.
For a telecast of bowling, this is our first visit to the Sebring area. Very impressed with it.
Chris, look at the oil streaks where Tim Criss is throwing the ball. Now Walter Ray is going to try to come straight inside that.
Come on, baby, come on. All right, decent shot.
Walter Ray just keeping the ball in play, just doesn't quite get the finish. Another 10-pin. This is the way the whole week has panned out. Walter Ray leads in the match by 2 with a spare.
This is the pivotal match, the semifinal, right to meet the tournament leader, Steve Jaros.
No, I guess you got to move.
Walter quickly up with his strike ball, leads by 2 pins over a newly crowned champion in the flagship Open, Tim Criss, 8th frame.
Come on. Do I leave anything else besides 10 pins? Jeez.
But Walter, that's your easiest spare, bud. Because he has good technique and good angles. Look at the angle, a cross lane. Look at the technique, a broken wrist shot. For the first time in the match, Tim Criss, with 1 more strike, can take the lead. 8th frame, he has 2 strikes working.
April 5th, he won in Erie. His first national PBA event.
And this is one he'd really like to win. Chris, I can remember when you win 1, that can happen. That can be an aberration. But when you win 2, and especially get by maybe a player like Walter Ray Williams Jr. or Steve Jaros, you really have put your imprimatur on professional bowling. I am a player.
Come on, come back.
Another 10-pin on the left lane. Oh, this is fun.
This is good bowling action. Basically, as a pro, by the definition of being a pro bowler, the only goal of competition at pro level is victory. Score is secondary.
Okay, tomorrow, 2 Eastern, 1 Central, in the Pacific, defending champion and hometown favorite Michael Andretti races against the likes of defending pole sitter Paul Tracy and PPG points leader Scott Pruitt, 44 points, in the Bosch Spark Plug Grand Prix. Tomorrow, 3 Eastern, 1 Central, and Pacific. A biggie in the foundation frame.
Come on. Kind of a throwback strike right there, Chris. The old wall shot that Dick Weber used to get. As you see the eyes, the concentration, and obviously the positive reaction of Walter Ray, who needs 2 strikes and 9 to lock up this game.
Finally got it up to the pocket. Too much. Man.
Well, Walter, with 2 more strikes and 9, could have locked out Tim Criss, and right now he is trailing by 8 pins. With a spare and a strike, he would finish 196. Criss would just need any kind of good count and a spare to go on to meet Jaros for the title. But we've seen a lot of open frames in the final matches so far this year.
Okay. Winner will go into that championship game. Steve Jaros. $196 for Walter Ray.
Well, when you need a mark, you go right for the pocket. There is no, I'm going to move a couple of boards left or I'm going to throw it harder. He knows how to throw a perfect shot on that lane. They are rewarded in this bowling center. He needs 1 good shot to lock up the match.
Tim Criss. Tim Criss will be in the final game here in Sebring. This ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after these messages and word from our ABC stations.
This is the Big Mac. This is my dad, Jim Delegati. This is my dad, Jim Delegati. He created the world's greatest burger. 2 all-beef patties. There's cheese in there.
Special sauce. Very special. Very secret.
This is a massage meal.
Right now, buy a drink and fries. Any drink, any fries, any size. And get a Big Mac for just 55 cents.
55 cents.
To salute 1955, the year it all began.
This is a very good idea.
This won't be around forever.
This sesame seed is bigger than my head. This is my McDonald's.
I like being in control. With this new Dinerex, I control the cause of my dandruff every day.
New Dinerex Advanced Formula. Its medicine doesn't just treat the symptoms. It controls a leading cause of dandruff called Peel Valley.
Now that's serious control.
New Dinerex Advanced Formula.
Here's the easy way to a beautiful lawn. Miracle Grow Lawn Food. It stimulates root growth, helps fill in thin spots to give you a thick, beautiful carpet of green. Miracle Grow Lawn Food does all the work. You get all the credit.
ABC Tuesday is pop with home improvement at 8, 7 Central, just because we know you like it. And America's Got Soul. 30 million have watched. Critics call it a hit.
What was that?
The Word of God.
And hold everything. It's a brand new home improvement where Jill botches up cool time.
I just wanted to signal you.
And that signal would be this?
Then, on all new Spin City, it's the most embarrassing thing that can happen to a man.
Can't you guys control those things?
Sometimes all it takes is a slight breeze.
It's Pop ABC Tuesday.
If you've been waiting to buy, stop. The first big Ford sales event of the year is going on now at your Quality Plus Ford dealer. It's the Great American Ford Sales Event with special savings on the most popular compact pickup, Ford Ranger. Now with $1,000 cash back or drive Ranger for just $165 a month. That's $165 a month on the 97 Ranger. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer today before the Great American Ford Sales Event ends. Hurry, get $1,000 cash back or drive Ranger for just $165 a month.
Turn out the lights. The party's just starting. It's radical. It's wild. It's here. It's Glow Bowling, appearing Friday and Saturday nights at both Colony Park locations and Rocky Springs Lane. Vibrate to the fat sounds and shimmering colors. It's Glow Bowling, a vision into the future. It's striking.
Stop! Get this work done.
The Dennis Owens Sports Report. Weekends at 6 and 11.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robin Roberts in Louisville, Kentucky. Coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, we'll preview our coverage of next week's Kentucky Derby presented by Visa. Plus, encore performances by gold medalist Shannon Miller, Dominic Mucciano, and other winners from Atlanta in the Tour of Olympic Gymnastics Champions. Plus, World Short Track Speed Skating from Japan. And in our Wide World Classic, Nadia Comaneci makes history in her first major competition, the 1975 European Championships. It's all next on Wide World.
Yes, there have been 3 victories by Tim Criss today, 266 to 201. Then he moves on and wins 225 to 192. And then goes against the best in the world, Walter Ray Williams Jr., and wins it to get into the final game against Steve Jaros. 201 to 196 was the score. We're in Sebring, and we're off next week, but 2 weeks from today, we're in North Brunswick, New Jersey for the Johnny Petraglia Open, and that'll begin the Showboat Hotel Casino presentation of the return of the King of the Hill, because the winner of Johnny's tournament will then, 3 weeks from today, meet the winner of the IOF Foresters Tournament in Toronto, where they go head-to-head. And remember, Ron Williams went for week after week, so we look forward to it.
Well, Chris, it's sudden death, and there's winner-take-all in the King of the Hill matches. Remember, Ron Williams won almost $200,000, and I'm looking forward to that starting back. That'll be May 31st, our first King of the Hill match.
All right, and now for the $18,000 the trophy and $9,500 to the runner-up. The Greater Sebring Open. Hope Dan Gurney is watching, because he always talked about how the orange blossoms smelled here in Sebring when he raced. They still do, Dan. Very impressive fashion, the way this man starts.
If you like numbers, Steve Jaros is 0-7 in his last 7 championship round appearances. However, he will finish first in the match, and the tournament leader is 10-3 when he finishes first.
10-10 now.
Good opening shot. I don't think I've seen Steve Jaros any more dominating than he was last night. He just took this field and these lanes and just overpowered them. However, today is a 1-game sprint. Let's see how he does.
Steve is ranked number 9. Tim Criss is ranked number 8. And the money earned thus far this year, Steve has won $51,044, and the closeness, Tim Criss, $50,050. So as I mentioned, the winner will get $18,000 to add to his total, and the runner-up $9,500.
Get around it. Come on.
Steve Jaros a little bit left the target in the second frame. You see, he wants to get it out about the 5th board, hits about the 7th, breaks up the 4-6 split.
Okay. Here today, we're glad as our senior vice president of production, Steve Anderson, and his son Matt, and Steve's father-in-law, Ben Honorato, who hasn't missed a frame. What a bowling fan his father-in-law is. All right. Okay, Bo.
Well, the #1 player in the world practiced his horseshoes this week and got back in contention, but maybe you had to pitch a few more shoes. Chris was tough on you.
Yeah, Tim bowled very well. He looks like he's got a really nice reaction out there. I had a little trouble early. I threw a couple of bad shots and just couldn't get those pins to fall down. And it was really fortunate to be as close as I was with Tim. He bowled a really good game, and he's going to be tough on Steve, I think.
How about in a low-scoring environment compared to a high-scoring environment? Does a guy on a roll have a big edge?
I don't know. It's whoever's bowling well. It's a little bit different game. You got to really get those bad games and don't worry about them, and try and get a few of those good games. Fortunately for me yesterday, I had a bunch of good games, but that ball just didn't want to strike today. I don't know why.
He'll be back, Chris. This is the championship match. It's close.
2 strikes and a spare for Tim Criss. 2 spares for the tournament leader, Steve Jaros.
Talk about dedication. Steve Jaros lapped this field for 42 games, and when he finished last night, he drilled up 2 new bowling balls. I spent a half hour talking with him back in the paddock. Then he went out and practiced and did some test work for an equipment company. Here early this morning, practicing again. He's put himself in position to win his first championship in 4 years. He needs to play the ball right in this area. That's his best shot.
Double. Well, to the victor of today's Greater Sebring Open goes this championship trophy.
Degrees below zero to 475 degrees above. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. New Mobil 1 0W30. Superior protection when you start your car.
Hate the taste of Arm & Hammer toothpaste? Then try new Smooth Spearmint. Now the baking soda toothpaste that dentists recommend most has a refreshing spearmint ribbon of flavor. New Smooth Spearmint from Arm & Hammer.
Work boots. Tough on the outside, tough on your feet inside. Not enough cushioning. Dr. Scholl's Maximum Comfort work insoles give you 100% more cushioning. They make work easier on your feet.
The Professional Bowlers Tour on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Miracle Grow Extra Long-Lasting Lawn Food. The easy way to a beautiful lawn. Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley's been helping people do things right. And Kellogg's, with good taste, nutrition, and value. The best you each morning from Kellogg's.
Oh, those orange trees. A lot of cattle ranching here in the Sebring area, too. Lots of it.
Need more than 1 acre of grass down here, though, partner. About 5 acres per cow. Not like where we live.
Crossover leaving the 10.
Well, when a player throws a poor shot, he's very obvious. He gets left the target. Once again, accuracy has to be just perfect and gets soft. He throws it slow to start with, about 16. He was down about 15.5. Crosses all the way over. If he converts the 10 pin, he'll trail in the championship match by 1.
Okay. The Pro Bowlers Tour on ABC will return in 2 weeks to the Johnny Petraglia Open in North Brunswick, New Jersey. The start time is 3 Eastern. That's 2 weeks from today.
Johnny cashed in this tournament. 40th spot, 199 average, took home better than $1,000.
All right. Now Steve Jaros with a double up, shooting in the 5th frame.
This guy's so particular about his grip. He uses a fingertip grip, but he works out those thumb holes and fiddles with them, takes them home. He's in the pro shop business, but he absolutely has everything perfect before he uses a bowling ball.
One more time, man. Come on.
Okay.
Tournament leaders, a kind of a surprise Norm Ginsberg, who kind of woke up about halfway through the second block and ended up averaging about 180. And Del Ballard came into play, and then Steve Jaros was solid all the way through. But once again, we haven't seen Del Ballard in the championship round this year. He is bowling much better. We'll see him before the season's out. Now Jaros can take a 21-pin lead, 6 frame.
Come on.
That's a 4-bagger for the tournament leader. Strike up, however, for Tim Criss now. Tim has won 3 games, if you just joined us. 266 at 225.
Chris, doesn't his style remind you of one of your friends, Tom Hennessy from St. Louis? Very same type of style. Medium speed, very methodical.
Brings back many memories when you speak of Tom Hennessy. Man of lots of fun.
Tim Criss strikes in the 6th, strike here in the 7th. The lead of Steve Jaros would just be 1 pin. A very patient Tim Criss leaves a half 10, almost has the swishing 7-10. Watch the 5-pin slide right over in front of the 7, doesn't get the action, and then off the sideboard. 6 avoids the 10.
Okay. So I want to give you the definition of a good son. One of our highly skilled technicians, George Botcher, gave his mother a brand new TV set, Lillian Botcher, who has watched this telecast from the beginning 36 years ago. Now, isn't that a good son to do that?
Terrific. Jaros with the first chance to take a commanding lead. Watch his arm swing. See the elbow bend early, getting the ball left to target, cuts right through the middle. 3-6, 9-10 spare. The best way to pick it up is get it over here in the 3-6 zone, let the ball take out the 9, and the 6 will take out the 10. Shoot a hook ball down the right side. As Jaros puts a little powder on his thumb, the humidity's a little higher. He needs to get out of the ball clean to make this shot.
3-6, 9-10. Beautiful job.
Well, that's pretty much a double right there. Come on.
Interesting statement. He says that's pretty much as good as a double.
There they are.
June Dobolakis and Helen Jaros. Hoping that Steve can maintain his 8-pin lead for 3 more frames. Championship match.
A little too fast.
June D.
Well, you heard Steve say a little too fast. Speed being critical. Throws the ball about 18 miles an hour. He only uses a 15-pound ball. Doesn't flip back. And he needs to get the ball over there in that 2-4 zone. Take out the 10. He's going for it. Tim Criss, sitting on the bench, takes the lead of 7 pins, 8th frame. No way to protect it, just make good shots. Don't look at the finish line, 1 shot at a time. That's the way you attack a championship match. Right now, Tim Criss going at a 217 pace. Steve Jaros has a potential 230. The match is far from over, but Jaros is not as sharp as we saw him yesterday. Criss can go for the throat. Here we go.
4th match of the afternoon for Tim. 17 at this point.
All week long, I saw Steve Jaros get out of the ball the same speed, the same release. Today, he's losing the ball a little bit off his hand, throwing one a little bit harder. Let's see if he can just get everything back together and throw 3 good shots here and get right back in the match. 9th frame. Well, the man that has very few unproductive movements in his game needs his best shots right now. He trails by 17. 2 strikes here in the 10th would give him the lead and force Tim Criss to strike for the title. Let's see what happens. One more to take the lead and make Criss strike on the final frame.
Finisher this guy is.
He showed his mettle on that shot. The first time I've ever seen him have to throw one for all the wheat, and his beautiful arm swing, which is very low maintenance, directly on line, came through for him there. Now he needs 7 pins to make Tim Criss strike. A huge mistake, partner. You know what ends up with 225? Criss only needs 9 spare. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. After throwing such quality shots in the 9th and the first 2 in the 10th, he tries to throw it down the middle instead of attack the pocket. The door is wide open for Tim Criss. Situation is simply this. Needs strike or 9 spare strike. Either one is victory, his 2nd of the year. As you see Steve Jaros give him a handshake, I think that everybody, the quartet that he defeated, will agree that he bowled the best today. There's your winner.
Tim Criss, great champion, will be back.
I helped my dad build this place. Well, help. I was so small I could barely swing the hammer. But he taught me a lot about tools. He used to say, you can buy cheap tools every couple of years. Or you can buy Stanley once.
Since 1843, a company from New Britain, Connecticut has been helping people do things right. Stanley.
I even take my tape roll fishing. Well, that way I'll know how big a story to tell.
Want some waffles?
Waffles? Are you crazy? I don't have time for waffles.
You do if they're Eggo Cinnamon Toast waffles.
Trying.
Where's the butter and syrup?
Are you crazy? You don't have time for butter and syrup.
They're the first waffles with a baked-in sweet cinnamon taste. So they're great, even without butter and syrup.
What you eating, Dad? Waffles.
Are you crazy? You don't have time for waffles.
Eggo Cinnamon Toast waffles. Hey, you've got time for waffles.
AC Delco knows that as a car gets older, its engine runs rougher. So we developed a spark plug to help bring back new car feel, and things really gelled. Rapid Fire from AC Delco. It makes an engine idle up to 27% smoother and accelerate with up to 18% quicker throttle response. Rapid Fire. Its performance ought to have the competition shaken.
Criss wins his second title of the year, $18,000 as he convincingly beat a great field. Chris Schenkel, you're with the champion.
Okay, champ.
What can I say? It's been a great run.
Well, 2 in 1 year. That's so wonderful for you.
Yeah, maybe if I would have got my first one earlier, the second one would have been a little easier.
You'll win more this year. John Davis and Dennis Davis, brothers, owner of the lanes and the tournament chairman, and these 3 lovely queens. How about the check and the trophy for the champion today of the Greater Sebring Open? Would you do it now?
Tim, I'd like to congratulate you in behalf of Avon Park, Sebring, Lake Placid, and the Highlands County Commissioners with $18,000.
Thank you, Dennis. The staff here put together everything real quick. I'd like to say thank Track for all the help this week. Thanks, John, for holding us here again. And I'm going to Walt Disney World.
There's the trophy coming from John, and our time is up. And we invite you to stay tuned for Wide World of Sports, and that's coming up next. Congratulations.
This has been a presentation of ABC Sports. Recognize the